let's go ahead and get into that clip then, Will. Still, somebody asked Mike McCarthy, "Hey, Mike, what's the vibes on CeeDee Lamb here? What we gonna do about that?" Here's Mike McCarthy answering this question here about Lamb and his big players and things of that nature.
And CD's, clearly at the top of the list. You got to get the ball to your playmakers. I mean, ball distribution is a constant, focal point for us when we talk offensive football. We talk about how many touches we want the perimeter players to have every game. I think there's defenses that you'll compete against, throughout the year that you're looking for the soft spots there. But yeah, the focus was. I think clearly when who plays the flanker position, the Z position is obviously going to be in a primary situation where he can, he's going to be the number one read in a lot of progressions. So, and he's definitely ready for that opportunity.
I ain't that mad though, but I don't like being lied to because we saw last year that we would just run down the progressions and Dalton Schultz got a lot of catches. Whoever was playing in the slot got a lot of catches. Cedric Wilson got a lot of catches, right? We CeeDee Lamb, if he's going to be the number one guy, of course, we would love for him to get more opportunities, for him to get more touches and more catches, but that just haven't been what we seen. Now, if you tuned in last week, in which we tell y'all all the time, man, you're not allowed to miss episodes because you're gonna miss something. I just kind of had this thought in my mind that goes, well, maybe that's what this all. And y'all, please don't fry me for this because this might be ignorant as hell, but it was just a thought I had. Right? I think there may be something. Hopefully, there may be something to the ideas that the offense would be more balanced if it weren't two dudes that we were just so concentrated on feeding the ball to. That may be BS. It may be BS, but it's just what I'm saying to you, right? When there's Amari Cooper and there's CeeDee Lamb, there's a pressure for you to give both those dudes the ball. Now, if you think a couple of years prior, just years back, like 1 year prior to CeeDee Lamb being there, it wasn't two number ones. It was Cooper was the number one, Gallup was the true number two. Everybody else just kind of got their passes. And that year, Gallup got 1,100 yards and six touchdowns, which is plenty, which is a whole bunch. Gallup being true number two guy. We were in a weird spot to where we had two number ones, but that made Gallup more like a three guy. You see what I'm saying? So now me looking at it this year, and this could be nonsense. Chat, tell me if this is nonsense or not. And we might even put a little poll down there. The idea that, okay, we only got one dude that we just got to get the ball to, right? Gallup is complimentary. Washington is complimentary. Tolbert is complimentary. Schultz is complimentary. We got to get the ball to CeeDee. Y'all tell me if that's nonsense or not. The fact that we only got one dude that we got to get the ball to, that should even things out a little bit. Will, is that nonsense?
I don't believe. So I thought you had some more to go. So are you saying less is more?
Sometimes.
I mean, in this situation, less playmakers is more.
No, I'm not saying less playmakers, but less have to get this dude the ball. I thought about it like this too, but I couldn't prove it, so I didn't say it publicly. But I'll just kind of run this theory by you, right? Mm-hmm. There was a reason why when Cam Newton, got to the Panthers, like young Cam Newton, like they just felt like they had to get rid of Steve Smith. You know what I mean? Because Cam wasn't the guy that features like that. Cam was better when he just kind of spread the ball around and just got a chance to be big talent dude. Not saying that it has to be a way for anybody, because some teams could use multiple number one guys or could use more talent or whatever. But maybe for Dak, it may be advantageous to have one dude that you got to get the ball to and just everybody else complimentary. And Cam Newton played some of the best football in his life. They went on the MVP run when Steve Smith left. All this could be bullshit, chat. Chat, this could be nonsense.
I can't hold it in anymore. Come on, man.
Chat, this could be nonsense. But Will, that's why I don't just say shit without thinking about it first. But this is some random miscellaneous stuff that's on my mind. Yeah. I made sure to preface it with maybe. But go ahead, Will.
Because that was good. That was good. That was real good how you did the Cam Newton thing. Now, I got to give it to you, man. Pat on the back. That's a good one. I don't. Listen, you're not wrong in that Dak spreading the ball around is not a bad idea. But I believe, and this is me, your belief and my belief, I believe in an offensive philosophy like Kellen Moore's, the more playmakers you got that can get off, the better, because you don't feature one guy. Right? Like if I got one or two dudes, and I do believe they have more than one, Voch, I think when Gallup gets back, he's a guy you have to pay attention to. Like from an offensive game plan standpoint, you can't just let him be a dude, right? He's got to be the dude in the offense. It just is. You paid him that money to be that way, right? So when I think of a Kellen Moore offense, if you're going to be, hey, I got to get 5 different people involved, you got to take what the defense give you. Well, when the defense give you something, make sure it's a dude that can get off that day. You know what I'm saying? And if that means I got to have 3 dudes, then I got 3 dudes. But if it's a situation where it's only one, and I'm spreading the ball around to said Wilson, I'm just talking about last year. Sure, said get your 6 catches for 80 yards. I'm not going to let CeeDee Lamb beat me. You know what I mean?
Now, Will, don't get me wrong. As an ex-offensive player, as an ex-offensive coach, as an ex-offense coordinator in training, you win the game with horses. Yeah. The more gangsters you got, the better. But in this particular situation, right? And even think about, like, consider Amari Cooper's, I'm not making up stuff. We just talking. We just having a conversation, right? Wasn't there like a thing about Amari Cooper's mental or like his toughness, or like was he like maybe a behind the scenes whiny guy? Like, do you think that probably, like, if you got 2 humble number 1 receivers, like a Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden type of combo, you know what I mean? If you got 2 humble receivers, that might work, right? But what if, you know, you got 2 number 1s. Okay, sometimes Coop gets off. Sometimes sometimes Lamb and Said get off. But what if you go too many games without Coop getting off and you hear that in your ear? Do you think that may do something, possibly?
If he was that type, I don't believe Coop was diva type. I feel like Coop was the ultimate, teammate. It took Coop how many weeks to week 15 till he came out and said, "Yeah, I think we can beat these cover 2s. We just ain't running it."
Sure.
Hey, Coop, TP, y'all better than me. I'd have been coming out bitching and moaning about not getting the rock and doing certain things. So kudos for keeping his composure, and he even did it in a respectful way. He could have went, Des Bryant scorched earth and been going crazy on the sideline. The other things I'll hold back on that. I haven't heard that from people in the locker room that he was a whiny person behind the scenes. He seemed to be a consummate professional. If you listen to CeeDee Lamb and Gallup, he was the big homie.
Sure,
he was the big 100%.
Homie. Segway Jones, we're gonna jump to Tony Pollard, in which I feel like this was a fantastic question. I shit on the media a bunch, but I give them credit when they have fantastic questions. Now, can I shit on you in the way that, hey man, Tony been here for like 4 years? Shouldn't you have asked this like years ago? But I'm giving you props. I'm just gonna move on. Now it's like, Coach, you used to have like Ty Montgomery and shit, right? You know what I mean? He was this receiver, running back kind of guy. We gonna use Tony like that? Mike said.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that's an excellent comparable, as far as an experience that you go through. I think they're different players. But to me, it's really comes down to expansion of job responsibility. That's all it really is. And that's all part of the game and design of it and that. So, but it's just really expanding his opportunity to touch the football, and in doing that, we got to give him more job responsibility.
I wonder how y'all came to that conclusion. I wonder who's the genius that was in the meeting that said, you know what, Tony, I when he got the ball. Hey, we should give it to him, right? I wonder who was the genius that came up with that one. Huh? Give him a raise. That need to be the next hot head coaching prospect. Which one of these? Oh, I'm the assistant run game quarterback coach coordinator. But I'm in this system, and I said Tony should get the ball. I should be the next hot head coaching candidate. Well, still, I'm just a casual. I know a little football, though. Like, humbly, I know a little football. Of course, Tony Pollard needs more responsibility.
Jeez.
Of course he does.
I'm the same way, bro. I don't pretend to know more than these guys. They're there. I'm not trying to be Monday. Well, no, I am Monday morning quarterback because I'm talking about it. But I'm not trying to be Sunday morning quarterback and tell y'all what to do. But certain things are obvious, right?
Yeah.
Tony Pollard getting the rock is obvious. And I feel like if he comes to this season, he's only toting it 115 times, and he gets 39 receptions again, that's a fireable offense. You could argue it was fireable last year, what happened. But it's a fireable offense. And I'm not talking about just Mike. I'm talking Kellen. The whole entire offensive staff can go.
Yeah.
This is criminal at this point.
I feel like I could have gave him that information for free. Like, there's some coach that make a lot of money to do this. You know what I mean? They make a lot of money to say stuff like this. I'd have gave him that information for free. That's free game, free jewelry. I'd have gave. Get Tony involved. You shouldn't have to be at a wide receiver deficit to be like, let's let's throw Tony the ball. Let's get it to him a little bit more. We got player clips that we're gonna play tomorrow. Tony Pollard had a whole bunch of clips, but Mike came out today, so y'all gonna have to wait till tomorrow. But
we should definitely do minicamp stuff tomorrow too. I'll talk to you about that off air. They had minicamp practice today, so.
Hey, perfect. We just gonna keep pushing back. Yeah. we gonna hear from Tony Pollard next week. Don't worry about it. We got a long off season. But sure. But when Green Bay was doing their running back thing, right? They had a bruisey back, a change of pacey back, and a catchy receivery back. It was Eddie Lacy, it was James Starks, and it was Ty Montgomery. And it was balanced. And it was no just one guy. Now,
you talking up my alley now, Voch. I love this.
I think Ezekiel Elliott got too much clout in that room to where if somebody say get off the field, he stays on. I think that's a problem. I think that's a big problem, Will Steele.
Can I get a tinfoil hat on you here for a second?
Please.
Do you think this is a front office call to justify paying Ezekiel Elliott the contract?
Like we need to play Zeke more and get Zeke 1,000 yards every year because we paid him and we need to. Sure. Yeah. 100%.
Okay.
Probably so.
All right.
Probably so. And I hate that. We got to pull, front office politics into this, but that's probably 100% what it is.
What I find interesting, Voch, is that, and maybe you got the clip, I don't know. He talked about analytics a lot.
I don't have it.
Okay, cool. He talks about analytics. Hey, I was in the barn all off season, man. We got the we got the PFF. You know what I'm saying? All that. All right, coach. Whatever. And then when you look at the analytics, Voch, Tony Pollard's top 10 in goddamn everything.
Yep. So why not use him? In that way, Will Steele? I think because Zeke feels away when Tony Pollard gets out there and starts tearing shit up. This is interesting because when DeMarco Murray and Joseph Randle were a combo, right? Joe Randle would normally have like the whole third series. Whatever that series was, like 1, 2, whatever, like whenever that series came, that was his whole series. And he would do his thing. And we was looking at Joe Randle to where like DeMarco left some meat on the bone made sense. I was ready. I was ready for Joe Randle to take over.
What the kids say, cap it? I was definitely capping for Joe.
Son, let me tell you something. I was like, oh, Joe Randle finna come in this joint and you know what I mean? And it's going to be what it's going to be. But, you know what I mean?
And he wasn't bad. He just was a knucklehead. But
he was a knucklehead. He wasn't bad. But we didn't hear about DeMarco Murray feeling away or nothing like that. And when Joe was getting hot, DeMarco did, hey, put me back in. We never saw that. But we'll see Tony Pollard in the middle of a drive where we tearing shit up after Zeke is in a drive where he's stalling the offense a bit. We got to be honest. Towards the end of the season especially, Tony will be gone and we'll go, let's go, Tony. And before you know it, 21 back in there. Whose call is that? It can't be a coach's call. It got to be Zeke's call. I'm just Zeke. This is the Cowboys organization. I'm getting back in the game. That's somebody's call. Go ahead.
Something happened. They used to do it with Alfred. Remember, Zeke would get like the first 2 series and Alfred Morris get the 3rd series. I don't think they do that much with Zeke and TP, but I'm cool if they don't do it in that way because I don't think that meant that Alfred Morris was featured in offense. He was literally just giving Zeke a blow. You know what I'm saying? I think they need to be featuring TP. TP should be a part of the game plan every single